Hello Internet, and welcome to another episode of Arena Time here on ShoutStone. Once again, we are following a run through the arena by none other than Trump, one of the best Hearthstone players in the world, and not me, thankfully, who is one of the worst. I'm better at casting this game than I am at playing it, so let's get right down to it. So as we all know from the last game, Trump is currently 1-1 in the arena, and he needs to roll forward, try to get 9 wins out of this and get to Grandmaster. So let's hop into the game right now. It is Uther versus Jaina. Trump playing the part of Uther, the Paladin, and Skis playing the part of the Mage, Jaina. This is game 3 in Trump's arena run. Hopefully he can make it through here without any more losses. He is in fact a tremendous player, and usually is capable of hitting Grandmaster on a regular basis. But let's see how it goes. Right now in the early goings, not a lot of options for either player at this point. But it looks like he does have that Brewmaster, which he can put into play, and he will do so. Won't be able to take advantage of the Battle Cry of that Brewmaster, which makes it a very useful card when you're trying to bounce cards back and forth. The Brewmaster cards generally have a Battle Cry that allows you to return a friendly minion to your hand, which can be really, really great if you're trying to take advantage of the Battle Cry of other minions that have already been put into play. Right now he's just going to do a quick minion trade, because that's really all he cares about, and throw up a Silver Hand Recruit. So he uses that Brewmaster just to clear the other minion off the field. And he will force his opponent to burn their hero power to clear that Silver Hand Guardian. He's going to play the coin, which gives them an extra point of mana, and drop a pint-sized summoner. Now that's going to be a pretty hot target on this next turn. It probably won't go down this turn, but no, he does have Hammer of Wrath, so it will in fact go down, and he will draw an extra card. So that gets rid of that pint-sized summoner before it can be any trouble. And as it stands right now, it's a pretty dang even game. Trump does have the slight card advantage due to the fact that he is first. But a Water Elemental will come into play, and that minion can freeze any minion that it attacks. And a great use of the Twilight Drake, which gains a +1/+1 for every card in your hand. Oh, and it will be taken out by a Polymorph, very key play. And that Polymorph will be destroyed by the Water Elemental. So good way to shut down that Twilight Drake. But now we'll have to see what Trump wants to respond with, because he's going to want to shut down that Water Elemental. Has that Aldor Peacekeeper. But is he going to play it or not? Yeah, he will play that. And that will reduce the attack power on that Elemental to 1 HP. That is its Battle Cry. And he's going to drop an Ironfur Grizzly to act as a bit of taunt. I don't think he really cares too much if that minion gets frozen, but now the real benefit of that Elemental is not necessarily its attack power, but it's just going to come in its ability to control other minions on the field. Azure Drake hits the field, that's +1 spell power, and it grants the opponent another card draw, which is always useful. Alright, so he is going to use that to attack the Ironfur Grizzly. It's going to freeze it down, but that's okay. I don't think Trump really cares too much. He's mostly going to be concerned with basically, you know, keeping those minions going, keeping those minions alive, and he is going to be able to take everything out. So he does drop that Argent Crusader there, which had Divine Shield and Charge. Now the Divine Shield was broken on that attack, but it is still alive. An S4-3 minion. And a Cone of Cold helps almost clear the field down. And freezes everything. Well, it just freezes that one minion because it's the only thing left. And that Ogre Magi is out on the field. That has +1 spell power, which he's going to throw a Lord of the Arena out to protect the taunt aspect of things, and keep him safe for at least the next turn, depending on what control cards the Mage player may have, however. Looks like he's going to drop a pint-sized summoner to prepare for the next turn, and hopefully he'll get a few more minion options to really start to fill up the field for cheap. But spells are a staple of a Mage deck. Unfortunately, this is the arena, and even if you try to go all spell power in a Mage deck, you may not get all the spells you want. Another good minion drop. Great control out of there. Manages to take some cards out, but keeps the Lord of the Arena alive, who will be frozen on this next turn, unless it is killed. Nope, it won't be. Loot Hoarder coming into play. When that minion dies, you do get to draw a card. So now Trump's decision-making has to come into play. He is kind of on the back foot at this point. However, he does have the card advantage. He's going to drop that Stranglethorn Tiger, it looks like, which would be a 5/5 minion with stealth. And he follows up with that Cult Leader, which grants a card every time another minion dies. So, let's see what happens. I mean, any minion that attacks is going to have to focus on that Lord of the Arena, and that will die, so that's going to grant a card. There it is. Hand of Protection, that can be very handy. And the next round of focus, if he decides to attack with that Magi, he will kill it. He will lose it. If he decides to take out that Cult Leader. But he's going to drop a Senjin Shield Master instead, for a little bit of taunt protection of his own. So right now the only thing he can attack is that Cult Leader. Obviously the minion's still in stealth there, that Stranglethorn Tiger. But he deals a few points of damage to the hero, and we move forward. So Angry Chicken, as you just saw getting drawn there. An interesting little minion. I'll talk about that in a second. Shield Master is down. Does pull that Tiger out of stealth, however. But it looks like is he going to drop it? He might drop that Argent Protector, and he will. He's going to give that shield to the cultist, or the cult leader, cult master, whatever, cult guy. And he will take it out. I understand, Darby. You really believe that I should get those names right. And he's going to drop the Angry Chicken. Now, the Angry Chicken does have an Enrage ability. However, it only has 1 HP, so it has to be buffed in order to really take advantage of that. And there we go. Blessing of Kings and Divine Protection being dropped, as well as a little bit of extra cards being pulled out here. Very nice. So a good key play there. Protects and buffs a lot of the minions out here. It's still going to take a lot to start to shut things down, but Trump is looking in a really good spot right now. He's about even in cards. Arcane Explosion, that'll take the chicken out, and it will start clearing out any of those Divine Shields that are on the field. But it will cause the Cult Leader to proc again. That's why he got that quick card draw, because the chicken died. Fireball, we direct it to the Cult Leader, and take it down. Direct attack to the Tiger. So, no more card draw, because Cult Master's dead. I can't remember if it's Cult Master or Cult Leader. It doesn't really matter. The Cultist. Alright, he uses that Brewmaster, draws minion back, pops a hero power to clear the opponent's field. So Trump is down to 0 minions here on the field. But it is not over yet, not by a long shot. Razorfen Hunter drops, it procs a Boar. And he could play that Amani Berserker, he could play that Shield Master to get some taunt out there. No, he's going to play the Shield Master, looks like. Just so he has that extra bit of taunt, and he's going to drop another Silverhand Recruit. So the minion numbers are back up for him. They're not quite as high damage as his last round, but they are still in his favor. And it really comes down to what the Mage player has. Another Blizzard. That's going to clear out most of what's out there. Or at least half of what's out there. That's the biggest problem dealing with Mage decks, is that it's a lot of control. And a lot of control cards, like Blizzard, which deals damage and freezes cards. So they're basically rendered worthless on the next turn because you can't attack with them. So it's a big pain to deal with, for sure. So now Trump has to make some key decisions here. We're getting to the point where both players are at max mana. He's going to do Consecrate. That's going to take out that Brewmaster, deal 2 damage to the hero, and get rid of that cursed little Divine Shield. Does throw down the Amani Berserker. And he could play that Direwolf Alpha, which he will do in between the Shield Master and the Berserker, to buff their HP up, or their attack up, and he plays another Silverhand Recruit. Yeah, I know. Darby's very excited about this game. That's my cat, by the way. The one who keeps chiming in whenever he feels like he has to. Alright, so Trump still looking really good right now. The health differential is not really any factor at this point. Gonna drop that Dalaran Mage to get an extra bit of spell power. Unfortunately, spell power is not affected to hero power. Or I should say, hero power is not affected by spell power, which is why that fireball still only did 1 point. Another Acolyte of Pain comes into play. Now that minion will allow you to draw a card every time it gets damaged. So if it wants to take it out, he's probably going to want to take it out with 1 shot. And he will do that. That's going to cause his opponent to get a card draw, but only 1. But it also will proc the Berserk on that troll. So things still looking pretty good. Raging Worgen put into play. And that starting to look very, very good for Trump here. Sorry, I missed that minion because I was trying to contain my cat who has gotten a little out of hand right now. But it's okay. We're still rolling forward very well here. We still are looking at a good key fireball play there to take that high damage minion out of play. Unfortunately, it's only one of the high damage minions. There is still a lot of damage on that field. But a good strike with that Dalaran Mage takes out the Dire Wolf Alpha to cut down that buff damage. And reduces one of those recruits to rubble. So the turn is passed, only a couple minions up. He does have that Sun Fury Protector, which can give all of his other minions taunt. But it looks like he's going to do some attacking first. And because it has Wind Fury, he's able to get a few good strikes in on the hero, pop another a Silver Hand. And he still has tons of mana. He still could play both of those minions if he chose to. But we'll have to see what he wants to do. He's not going to play either. He's just going to pass the turn at this point. So I think he's just trying to keep his minions safe from any kind of AoE play that might happen here. Alright, so Cult Master comes into play. Quick Fireball to... or Fire Blast and some Arcane Missiles. Which happen to take another minion out. But that's it. So unfortunately, things are getting a little hairy here. He is going to focus on that Cult Master, try to take it out of play, and he does. Another Amani Berserker. Gonna drop that and that Bloodfend Raptor, and he will. No, he is going to. Okay, so he's going to drop the 1/1 Silver Hand first. Then he drops the Protector to make sure that everything gets taunt. And taunt is useful just because of its annoyance factor in a lot of cases. Because, you know, you have to focus your damage on those taunt minions instead of on the hero or on a minion that you want to attack. But the Fire Blast can at least take out that 1/1. Still leaves a couple more troublesome minions out there. Let's see how Arcane Missiles do. And actually does manage to take one of them down a little bit of HP, but he does have to sacrifice his Mage to do it. So the Swamp Ooze comes into field. Its Battle Cry really not too useful because it is 3/2, and unfortunately it destroys your opponent's weapons, but no weapons on the Paladin right now. He does get that Booty Bay Bodyguard into play, and another Silver Hand Recruit. So HP is starting to look considerably in Trump's favor, but they are both in top draw right now. Well, except for that, just played Arcane Intellect, so he's just out of top draw, and he does have a secret, which could be all kinds of things. Again, hero power popped to take that out of play. Another Raging Worgen. Okay, he's going to attack first to see what that damage is. Pop another minion. And alright, so it won't cause the secret to proc, so it could very well be sort of a last stand sort of effect, which I cannot remember the name of it right now. But it's basically the secret that allows you to survive, your hero to survive when it goes down to 1 point of damage. Alright, so another attack in, down to 1 HP. So he's just throwing some more out there. Could do that Raptor if he chose to. Still has that Raging Worgen. Now, it really just depends on what that secret is as to what kind of problem is going to happen here. Now, it could very well just be something like Counterspell, which won't be much good if Trump doesn't play a spell, and he may not have any spells. I mean, he doesn't have any spells right now that will do anything. So this could very well be a GG right here. No, it does prop the secret by playing that minion. So it is Mirror Entity. Interesting. So, okay. So now he popped that, and he popped that on the Raptor, which is good. So interesting that it doesn't pop on the hero power spawning a minion, so I guess that's a good thing. But it did pop on the Raptor. So he was able to get a copy of the Raptor and not that very much more useful Raging Worgen. But quick exchange, another Fire Blast. Unfortunately, that is going to be GG. Because all he has to do is strike with that Raptor, and that is game. So Trump goes up to 2-1 here in the arena after a very long but pretty well played game between both players. I think that went swimmingly. Really not much else you can say about it. Excellent game by both players. It looked like it could have tilted in the other player's favor there, but Trump managed to get the right cards that he needed, played everything appropriately, responded to the secrets well, and kept on top of his game. So, as always, not a big surprise. But that is going to do it for this episode of ShoutStone and this episode of Arena Time. I'll be back in a couple days with more Arena Time, but I'll be back tomorrow with more ShoutStone. So don't forget to subscribe so that you get constant daily updates when we release new videos. You can also like this video, leave a comment, post, please find me on Facebook and Twitter. The links are in the description below. Find me there, and I will be more than happy to chat with you. But that is going to do it, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.